Don't blame 2020. Blame us. Don't blame 2020. Blame us. See, 2020 ain't nothing but some numbers. Representing what year it is. So 2020 ain't responsible. Those numbers aren't responsible for the major things that have affected us collectively this year. 2020 isn't. 2020 didn't cause COVID-19. Hell, COVID-19 didn't even start in 2020. COVID-19 started over there in China because motherfuckers was doing dumbass shit in those wet markets. COVID-19 was not properly handled in the United States because of poor leadership, starting at the top with the President of the United States. But 2020 didn't put him there. The people of America did that. Back in 2016, when Donald Trump was running, most people thought, there's no way he's gonna win. Many stayed home. Many said that they just couldn't make themselves vote for Hillary Clinton. Some people wrote in names just to, I'm making a statement. Some voted for Jill Stein. And I'm talking about these swing states where he picked up these votes. 2020 ain't do that. 2020 ain't create the dumbass electoral college system. The people of America did that. 2020 does not keep re-electing these Republicans that go to Congress and bow down to Donald Trump. 2020 ain't keep re-electing Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz and all these other motherfuckers. 2020 ain't do that. The people of America did that shit. When it comes to not wearing masks, not social distancing, not staying your ass at the house unless it's a situation where you must go out. 2020 ain't doing that. It ain't 2020 that got a lack of discipline. It's the people. It's not 2020 that has this disdain for science. It's the people. It's not 2020 that believes in these bullshit conspiracy theories that coronavirus was started by 5G cell phone towers, or that the coronavirus is a hoax just to bring down Donald John Trump. 2020 ain't believing that. That's the people believing that bullshit. The massive unemployment that we see is not because of 2020. It's because of the greed of the people. It's the greed of the people. During this pandemic, in the midst of 2020, we've seen billionaires make record profits. Record profits. And they ain't hiding it. You scroll down your Instagram feed, you can see billionaires and millionaires living it up. While at the same time, we see people being laid off. While at the same time, we see people being evicted from their homes. While at the same time, we see people lined up for miles, or at least a mile, to go to a food kitchen. 2020 ain't do that. That's the people being greedy. 2020 ain't the one that sent that bullshit $1,200 out and said, here, y'all, here you go. That'll hold you. Because in the other countries, In the same year 2020, they're paying their citizens monthly to stay the fuck at home. Several other countries that are wealthy nations like ours, in some way, are supporting their citizens with wages and supporting their small businesses. But we are the richest country on this planet. And our country ain't doing that. And that ain't 2020. That's the people of this country. 2020 didn't kill George Floyd. 2020 didn't kill Breonna Taylor. Racist pieces of shit did that. And this white supremacist system allows these motherfuckers to get away with this shit. But they ain't started happening in 2020. This shit ain't new. This shit been going on. So 2020 ain't do that. The people of this country did that. So we gotta look at ourselves. We gotta look at ourselves. We gotta say to ourselves, what is it about us that has allowed 2020 to be one of the worst years in modern history? Where did we go wrong? How do we not learn from the shit of the past? How did we not learn in the year 2020? How did we not learn from the pandemic of 1918 and be better and not have the devastation that we see today? We got to look at ourselves and say, how did we as a people see a man be lynched on video and that becomes something divisive in this country when everybody saw what happened? 2020 ain't making that happen. We gotta look at us and say, how in the fuck is watching that murder something that's divisive in this year 2020? We gotta look at ourselves and say, how in the hell in 2020 do we still have lynchings occurring in the so-called freest nation on the planet? We gotta really look at ourselves about these things. Because it's like I used to tell my youngest, the world is yours because you control your destiny. Let me say that again. The world is yours because you control your destiny. Now, that's not the case because you control everything that happens in your life. Misfortune is gonna come. Bad things are gonna happen. And many of those things are gonna be out of your control. But the world is still yours. And you still control your destiny because you control how you respond to all the fucked up shit that might happen. So hopefully we're looking at the pandemic and saying to ourselves that going forward, there needs to be an even greater emphasis on science, not less. Hopefully we're looking at our election systems and saying to ourselves, going forward, the electoral college, that shit has to go. Going forward, we need to elect politicians that have honor, We need to elect politicians that have ethics. We need to elect politicians that have a fucking backbone that will stand up for what's right. Hopefully we're looking at 2020 and saying to ourselves that we need to do something in this capitalistic system. We need to do something so people can have a fair chance at competition. Ain't got no problem with competition. Got no problem with competition. But if goddamn it we gonna compete, this shit need to be fair and square. And it's not that. It's not that when in this country you got people who out here risking their lives to go make $7.25. You got people who've been working throughout the whole damn pandemic, making $7.25. Why? Because they had no fucking choice but to go to work because they need that money to pay their fucking bills, because our government and our community, our society says, fuck you, you're on your own. We gotta look at that. Going forward, the workers of America gotta collectively look at themselves and say, are we gonna continuously allow these millionaires and these billionaires to exploit us? Or are we going to demand change because we realize that they can't be billionaires and millionaires without our labor? We gotta look at going forward. Are we really gonna sit here and stand for this shit any longer in terms of white supremacy in this nation? Or are we just gonna let in 2021 and 2022 and years to come keep seeing George Floyd, keep seeing Breonna Taylor? Because when I saw that shit and I study history, I say to myself, it's the same shit from the past. It's the same shit. So we gotta say to ourselves in 2020, what the fuck are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Because time's just gonna keep ticking. January 1st, 2020 gonna be gone. But if we don't fix ourselves, that number might change, but nothing else will. So be accountable. Don't blame 2020. Blame us. I love you. One.